Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cotodaba welcoming you to another Degrassism. Um, when I did this Reddit post a few days ago, and for context, it's being taped on February 3rd, 2023, I wanted to get people's opinions on something. A while ago, someone actually wrote a full-fledged post about, they did a project about Maya's psychiatric problems after Cam's death and how they were not over and all that. Of course, to put that in context, it's Maya, in season 12 was being with Cam and also Sig. Unfortunately, there were some issues in that love triangle, and Sig inadvertently wants Cam to disappear so that Maya's life could be better. That's kind of a jealous streak. So Cam ends up killing himself. Of course, Degrassi didn't want to glorify the suicide thing, so they chose to make it open-ended of what Eli saw. Either Cam slashed himself, hung himself, or even drank some garden chemicals. I theorized that because, as someone who's worked with garden chemicals, both at a garden center in 2019 and also helping out at Canadian Tire's soil compound last season, I can understand what that is. But the problem is that things were made to be broken. And Maya, was upset with Cam for breaking up with her. And that's understandable. I would be mad too. And then Maya seems to not get over Cam. And, she's putting on a brave face and all that. People want Maya to react. Maya doesn't react and all that. And then basically season 14 is when Maya became very aware of her friends and tried to protect them. In a way, kind of trying to prevent herself from another Cam situation, especially with Miles. She was taking care of Miles. She didn't want another incident to happen. She felt like she didn't want a repeat of Cam's problems with Miles. Everyone thought she was crazy and all that, but she had pure intentions. And then for a few seasons, we don't see any big problems. And then there was a bus crash with boosters for Degrassi, and then Tristan's in a coma, Maya feels bad, and there's stuff around her, and she gets pulled into that world, which she doesn't want to be around. So anyway, Maya aside, the last year of Degrassi was spent on Maya recovering from a suicide attempt. She took pills and, tried to jump off the school roof, but then, the pills were there, and thankfully for Maya, Sig and Esme were there to help her recover. So yeah, all that. And I was hoping somebody would do a Emma psychiatric treatment on season 4 and how much it affected her stuff post season 4 until season 9. So this is what I wrote. It says psychiatric assessment. Of course, I can't spell psychiatric. Of Emma's trauma from season 4 and poll of how much was affected by said things. Says the poll is to suggest a number range of how much season 4's Rick Burr storyline affected Emma in the later seasons, up to season 9, of course. Personally, I say 8 because it inadvertently made Emma more of a clean friend / girlfriend than we all think. As someone who spent videos on this unpopular opinion, it makes sense. Although the clinging thing to Manny was there in the first 4 seasons, but not too much in the open. And I said about someone did assessment with Maya and her trauma. I was hoping someone would do one on Emma and her major flaws after season 4. So feel free to comment on your thoughts about Emma's mental mess post Rick Murray storyline. Unfortunately, nobody cared to comment, so basically I had to pull the plug, if you will. There were 49 votes on this subject, and 18 of them were for the 7 to 8 range, with 10 people saying it's a 9 or higher. Well, no one said 10. So a lot of people said it was between 5 and 9, if you will. So I had to agree. How much it affected her post-season 4. With nobody willing to help me on that, and I'll have to do it myself. Okay, so there's a big build up to this whole Rick Rude situation. In season 4, Emma broke up with Chris. And then, you know, Emma was going to prevent Liberty and Chris from going out because Emma thought it would affect her, which was weird because that was unlike Emma at all. Helen, she didn't care about that kind of stuff, but now she did. Although someone did theorize that maybe because Emma was getting jealous of Manny getting boys, she's like, I can get boys too. Unfortunately, the whole Liberty Chris situation made Emma lose Liberty and Manny as best friends. So she basically is friendless and then is easily coerced into Paige's Orange Ribbon campaign to get rid of Rick from Degrassi because Radich and the teachers won't do a damn thing about it. So Emma basically starts an Orange Ribbon campaign, and then people use that to beat up on Rick, and Emma feels a little awkward, especially when Rick gives her $500+, or was about to, and Alex rips up the check. Emma calls Alex out saying, you don't know anything about this cause, and then all of a sudden Alex talks about her own personal life and suffering because her mom gets hurt by abusive boyfriends. Like, we can sympathize with Alex on that, but, her being a bully and all that, that was probably the figuring that Alex would beat up on everyone who resembles Rick. Well, she put Rick as the representation of all her mom's abusive boyfriends, or ex-boyfriends, if you will. Like, that's understandable. And then Emma basically is told not to have sympathy towards Rick. She trips Rick up to prove her loyalty, but then the boys, Benner and Jay, want to kill Rick or hurt him severely. Alex wants to. Emma steps in, saves Rick, and then Paige and them ignore her. So she's only in a clique with Jimmy / Heather, Rick, and Toby, the Quiz Bowl team. I'm surprised that Emma was on that team. But anyhow, yeah, Emma basically was just being Emma. And, Emma tried her best and all that to be herself. And the simple fact is that, Emma was trying to fit in. And then, Rick, with her being on the Quiz Bowl team with Rick got a better chance to be with her, like to understand her and all that. And his fondness for Emma happens. So Emma doesn't see the signs when he holds her hand during the Quiz Bowl thing and then whispers, "This is for you," when he goes up to the stage. Rick gets painted and feathered. Everyone laughs at him, but Emma says, no one's going to remember that. They're going to remember who won Degrassi this competition. Well, Emma, that is completely false. And then Rick wants to kiss her, saying, I thought you loved me. I pitied you to get a clue. And then Rick goes to his dad's desk and gets his handgun. Now, people forget that, Rick didn't go after Emma first. He went after Paige, or attempted to, but Paige tells Rick that, everything was childish. So basically, Rick decides not to go after Paige, realizing that, Paige was being polite. Rick then decides to, apologize for what he did to Terry. Put the gun back in his locker, but then gets coerced by Spinner and Jay to go after Jimmy. So he shoots Jimmy and then completely finds Emma, Sean, and Toby and wants to kill Emma for spurning his advances. Sean saves the day by getting away with Rick's gun, fighting for the gun, and then shoots him accidentally. So then, of course, Emma doesn't know how to feel because, she had a gun right in front of her and all that. For the next few episodes, she doesn't seem that bad. Well, back in black she was because, she goes into the media room with Snake. It says, Dad, everyone's staring at me and all that. And then thanks Sean for saving her life. Goes to Wasaga Beach with Sean to, Sean wants to confront his parents. And then Sean realizes he needs to stay in Wasaga because of his PTSD. Emma's not too pleased. She wants Emma. I mean, Sean back in her life. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. So Emma, of course, feels a little forlorn and all that. But for a few episodes, she seems fine, and then Secret comes in play, and we find out that Emma is far from okay. She's basically just falling behind in school, understandably. She's not. She doesn't have friends. She has to go see her friends, or her friends don't come see her. She's been very withdrawn. Spike and Snake are worried about her. Of course, Emma decides to go to retreat with Jay. And then that gets her confidence up somehow. And then there's a gonorrhea attack. Emma gets shunned because of it. Telling Jay, you gave me a social disease. And, Emma's upset with herself. So, yeah, she kind of admits that maybe she was her Rick and all that. And then, she was, well, end of season 4, she wasn't that bad. But then season 5, she became obsessed with Peter and took Manny into her home because of what Peter kind of did to Manny. And then, she still goes after Peter for some dumb reason. I don't know why. And to me, in a way, it's like Emma basically thinking that I can do this to Manny. And if Manny objects, I can throw her out of my house. I'm in total control of her. Emma would just want control over everything, with Spike and Snake temporarily separated, all that. But of course, yeah, she goes with Peter, and then season 6, Sean comes back in the picture. Emma's conflicted. She likes Sean, but she is also with Peter. Peter frames Sean with drugs and kind of wins Emma's heart. And then Jay courses a street race between Peter and Sean. That doesn't go right because Sean hits a pedestrian and all that. Sean goes to jail. Peter just gets community service. Everyone tells Emma she's wrong for everything. And then, Emma decides to help Sean out, which was weird because I thought she was with Peter. But of course, Peter confesses that he put the drugs in Sean's locker to prevent Emma from being with Sean because he knows about Emma and Sean. And then Emma dumps Peter off and then goes with Sean, and then Sean leaves for the army. Emma's upset and all that. She does talk to Sean in season 7 for some parts, but then dumps him off for Damien, which was weird because, Emma really wanted Damien to not have anything to do with Manny in season 6 because Damien was the student president of Lakehurst. And, Lakehurst kind of caused JT to be stabbed. All that. But yeah, she's with Damien. That didn't go over so well. Damien cheats on cheats on Emma with Liberty. And, Emma doesn't raise much of a stink. She basically blames Damien for a lot of things. Which was so unlike Emma. So anyway, Emma and Damien are not an item anymore. So Emma, in season 8 and 9, she goes to college with Liberty and Manny, manages to get a dorm room with those two, even though that Manny and Liberty were supposed to be together and not Emma. So Emma says all these things, and then, Kelly comes in the picture. Emma steals Kelly from Manny in a sense, and, Emma tries to, be more likable, so she's okay with blazing and all that. Unfortunately, one of the girls forgets to take her epilepsy medication and falls into a seizure because she was high. The school investigates. Emma tries to tip off Kelly that they're coming for her. Kelly gets caught with the drugs. He's kicked out of dorm. Emma wants to come clean with everything, but Kelly says, no, you'll get expelled. And then Kelly ends up dumping her in season 9 in Holiday Road because Emma seems to be controlling of Kelly, refuses to let Kelly try and meet, and Kelly's dad wants him back at the Yukon for a real job. So Kelly leaves Emma high and dry, and then Emma has to admit her own faults to everyone. So she basically tells Spike and Snake how she feels about it and how people are banning her. Manny left for Hollywood and Liberty went to pre-law. So she felt hopeless. So regardless of that, Emma then falls in love with Spitter for some dumb reason and get married to him. So, to me, yeah, maybe the Rick situation had something to do with Emma's downfall after season 4. I think it does. I mean, Emma may have been a clingy friend to Manny for the first 4 seasons in the first place, but the simple fact is, she became more of a clingy girlfriend after that. After all, Emma didn't have any real friends slash boyfriends that could have helped the situation. If Sean was her boyfriend, fair enough, but Sean was not her boyfriend. So, Emma felt dismayed and all that. So, anyway, that aside, I mean, Emma felt bad for everything that happened to her. But in a way, Emma, it was the writer's fault. Yeah, the writers made Emma into a bad character and all that. But, how many times did they go to the well with season 4 and, Emma's problems being explained? Maybe she had PTSD. And maybe season 6 about the JT situation, it was a manifestation of her PTSD because, after all, JT was stabbed steps away from Emma's house at a party that Emma should not have thrown. Emma probably felt guilty about everything. And with Manny moving back home, she felt like she was losing Manny and all that. Spike had to tell her that, she has to do better. And then, in a sense, that makes Emma into more of a clingy friend because she wants to get Manny's friendship and all that and not want to lose it, which is kind of weird. I mean, her being friends with Liberty was weird because they were always frenemies. But yeah, Emma, yeah, it's like, did Emma go to therapy about the Rick situation? We don't know. All I know is that hints of her going to therapy were huge in season 6 when she was at that party. Manny's like, "What are you doing, Emma?" And Emma says her therapist told her to cut loose a little bit. I think, in a sense, because of the eating disorder and all that, trying to take control of things, she needed to stop being such a dick, if you can count on that. But the fact of the matter, guys, is that, Emma was just trying to be normal and all that. I guess, in a sense, with her trying to be normal, maybe she might not have fallen into Rick's clutches and not have the gun pointed at her. But I feel like, yeah, like, she should be, she should have had the help and all that. And, an 8 out of 10 is not that bad. I mean, things could have been worse or better for Emma, but, there were some other scenes and all that caused Emma to go downhill. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks for watching.